Hi there, Chris here with another fresh tip for you all. In this video, we are going to take a look at mediums. And basically, this, for some of you, this might be new information. For some of you others, this is probably a refresher. With mediums, as you can see here, we have a variety of mediums from like Citadel, and of course we have like a Vallejo and a MIG ammo. And there are many other types of mediums offered by many paint companies out there. Some are even companies that don't produce paints for miniatures, but they're basically water-based acrylics, and for the most part, without some finer, nitpicky type of things, they're pretty much all the same. Water-based acrylics. Now, mind you, there are thinners for enamels and regular type of acrylics, more of the alcohol-based acrylic paints, but we're not going to talk about those ones in this video. We're just mainly talking about the common medium that a lot of you are going to be using out there, and that is more than likely either, a Citadel medium, or even a Vallejo medium, or even MIG ammo, or any of the other miniature brands out there. They're all very much the same. They're all water-based acrylics. And so really, what is the point of the mediums? The mediums are obviously to thin the colors down, and that is important when we are talking about painting our miniatures and applying a base coat or layering our highlights or even edge highlighting. Basically, it allows us to really kind of control how opaque the paint will be. Now, when we're talking about opacity, regular Citadel type paints, for example, like a base paint, they go on the model and they basically will sit on top of the primer. They cover whatever color is underneath it. So, for example, if you had a black primer and you lay the color down and it's opaque, it'll cover over that other paint. And basically, when you have a thinner applied, you'll have to apply more than one layer, but that is fine, because when you are using the paint in a controlled fashion, you can control how dense the color is on a surface. And with mediums, really the big talking point is the ability to control the paint. So for the most part, let's just talk about the Citadel side of things, as a lot of you will be most likely working with these kinds of paints. And basically what I will do is I will demonstrate working with obviously these colors. And for the most part, most people, when they're starting out in this hobby, they are basically only working with thinning the color down with just water. Now, there's nothing wrong with using water, but at a certain point, water doesn't get you the results that you really want, especially when you get into more nuanced type of painting. Basically, when you are applying thin glazes and color mixtures, and basically it's just really when you start getting really kind of nitpicky about your painting. If you're brand new to this hobby, most of the time you'll be all using water to thin your colors down, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And in fact, that is often the recommended method for thinning down the paints. But as I will demonstrate here really quickly, when we are using our colors and simply using a bit of water, I will grab a little dollop of paint here and apply it to the palette. And as we lay it down, you can see how it is quite thick, and you can see your brush strokes. Now, mind you, these is not too bad when you start getting, once it starts drying and such, but the paint is quite thick. Normally with a bit of water, you only really want to dip the tip of the brush in. I kind of dunked it right into the paint, but when you thin it down and you mix it into the entire dollop of paint, you have a lot more control, and you can see how it glides across the surface in a very smooth fashion. But the thing is with water, and when you start to really add a lot of water, you can see the brush is very swollen with water. And I'll just use the residual paint on the brush, you can see how very thin you can see, and you can see how like a lot of the color, the undercolor, shines through it, and you'll see how the paint gathers at where you finish your brush stroke. That is not very ideal when you are glaze highlighting, when you're breaking the paint down into very thin layers, and see how like you have this harsh line that's often referred to as a tide mark, because it's kind of like when the tides move in and you have that little layer, that little level of water. And basically what ends up happening is, because the surface tension is obviously diminished from the paint, that you end up with that tide mark like that. And that's not what you want when you are painting. Again, though, nothing wrong with using water to glaze. And those of you who have been painting for any length of time know how far you can push the paint with water and get fairly consistent results. But you can see how, yeah, the paint really does form an outline when we are using just water to thin the color down. It does act in a similar fashion when using mediums, but it's not quite as extreme as this. I will quickly grab another little dollop of paint to demonstrate, and this time we will use medium. And I would recommend with Citadel paints to use the recommended Citadel medium, but other mediums from other companies, for example Vallejo, they will mix with Citadel paints just fine, which is why at the beginning of the video I said that pretty much water-based acrylics are all pretty much the same. They all have very similar properties, they're all non-toxic type paints, and they all react fairly similar, when using them on a miniature. Now I'm going to use some Lamian medium, but I have some that I've prepared in a dropper bottle, which, if you're curious, just click in the upper corner and I'll have a link for another video where I talk about applying this. I'm only going to simply add a drop to the to this paint, and you will see that once we mix it in, you can see how, again, we get that nice smooth gliding action of the paint. And if we add a lot more medium, let's add 2 more drops to this. In fact, you know what, let's add it to this upper portion of the palette. We will use the residual paint in the brush to thin it down and to make a glaze consistency, just so I can demonstrate to you guys. This is an extreme thinning of this paint, but when we're talking about breaking the paint way down like this, we are often, doing glazing, or we can use another additive and make this into a shade wash. But again, here I will demonstrate, and you can see how it glides a lot smoother. You can see how the paint gathered as it dried, whereas in this, with medium, you can see how there's a lot more control to it now. And that is really just the big benefit of using a medium over water to thin. Now this is regarding regular opaque type colors, obviously colors that, obviously when they're sitting on top of a surface, they are obscuring the color beneath them. For example, here, underneath this palette is blue, so you're gonna see this kind of combination of the two. In fact, probably to the camera, it looks a little bit purple in these areas just because it's blue and red, right? But it's a slightly different story when using metallics. Now, dealing with metallics is a slightly different story. Here I have an example of lead belcher. This is from Citadel, and I'm going to use Lamian medium beside it. Again, because these are water-based acrylics, any medium, really thin-bodied mediums, even airbrush mediums that are often labeled, will work in these instances. And of course, when we do look at this medium, you can see how it sloshes around. It's very, very thin. It's a watery consistency, and that is really ideal when looking at thinners as well, is that how thin it is. Some thinners flow just like water, and some are a little bit thicker. They're probably more like a thicker milk kind of consistency, for anybody who's familiar with the consistency of milk. So here, really quickly, I'm going to demonstrate mixing or thinning metallics with water and the medium, and what you get versus the other. So with this lead belcher, I will throw this onto the palette. And again, it's same thing like with the regular opaque colors. You can move this around, and the brush strokes and such. And of course, you're always making sure that your paint's thoroughly mixed. And we can add just a little bit of water. Actually, it's a little too much water. We can add a little bit of water, and we can thin the paint down, and it flows nice and silky smooth, as it were, on our palette. Now, we can really thin this down because we can also glaze with metallics just like we do with regular opaque colors. Here, I'm going to take a very generous amount of water on my brush, and just using just the residual paint that is on the brush, I'm going to turn this into a glaze, and hopefully the camera catches what happens when we have this in a very, very thinned out consistency. And you can see we can even use it like the glaze. And actually, let's go a little bit thinner, because I don't know if I'm really quite at that tipping point yet. Yeah, there we go. Now, you can see how very, very thin the color is now. And what you will notice and I'm not sure if it's showing up on camera well enough, but what you will notice is that the little flakes, the little pigment that it gives you that metallic look, starts to flow and freely move within the mixture, as it were. It doesn't sit as nice and even and still as it does when it's, not very thinned out. When it's really, really thinned out, the pigment seems to move around, and it seems like there's a separation between the pigment and the medium. So that's not really great when we are using a metallic paint and doing glazing with it. Now, it's not often seen glazing with metallics, but it is a viable technique to use, especially when you are using regular metallic paints and you want to create surface effects and things of that nature. So really quickly here, I'm going to grab a little bit more of the lead belcher. We're going to slap this onto the palette. And this time we're going to use the medium, but this time with the medium, we're going to thin it way down. And you can see once we start mixing the medium in, and I've added a large drop to this mixture. It's really not a lot of paint there. And you can see how the pigment does start to move, but it's not as energetic as what you get with this other combination. And the whole point of this is so that the paint still acts like paint, but you can play with it in a consistency similar to when we glaze with it. And in fact, here I'll add another drop. I'll do it the same thing what we did before. I'll add 2 drops onto the palette, and we will demonstrate what that looks like. That's a lot. And I'll basically use the residual paint on my brush to create a very, very thin glaze. Now, why would you even want to play with metallic paint in a thinned out glaze consistency like this? You might want to fix errors. You might also want to introduce a bit of a sheen to a surface, create something interesting, create an interesting kind of look on a surface. So again, you can see how the pigment is moving around, but you can see how it's much more even. Earlier, when these were a little more wet, the pigment was moving around a lot, but now as it's drying, you can see it is all retracting in and it's drawing closer towards each other, whereas with the medium, it shouldn't act in such a fashion. It should be much more controlled. And here you can see, oh yeah, there we go. That's very, very thin. That is a very, very thin consistency on that. Again, though, you can see how it is moving, and it is giving us a much more controlled result as far as when we are using this to just simply lay on top of a surface or go for any kind of effects. You can see how random these are, and just when using mediums, I find in my experience that it really, as a newer painter, when you really start getting into mediums, especially for when you're using a lot of metallic paints, that this is really where you want to be using mediums as opposed to thinning your paint with water. With regular opaque colors, it's not really until you start getting into glazing or really fine-tuned edge highlighting and things like that that you really want to use a medium. If you're simply still, mostly concentrating on laying down a smooth base coat, using water is perfectly fine. And if water in most instances is perfectly fine. But for those of you who really want to begin pushing the envelope on your painting, switching over to a medium as opposed to using just water to thin your colors, I think you'll find a dramatic improvement on how fast you develop as a painter. But that's it. That is our little look at thinning paints. For some of you, I know this is probably a refresher, and for some of you, this might be brand new information. Hopefully, for those of you who this is brand new information, you did learn something, and hopefully you like that. So feel free to give a thumbs up and all the other usual YouTubing things, and I will see you guys in the next video. Don't be afraid to leave comments down below as far as what kind of subject matter you guys would like to see covered in these videos, as that is the intention of these videos, is to continue to educate and entertain sometimes. Huge thank you to all my patrons. Without their support, these videos would not be possible. If you're considering Patreon support, click the link in the description below and you'll be taken off to a magical website called Patreon, where there are varying tiers of support. And a huge thank you to everybody who does. Take care of those brushes, and they will take care of you.